Breakdowns.
Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We have a great one for you today. We got episode 97. Return guest, but today he's on his own because we gonna do some. I don't know what was gonna happen today. We already started, but we got Saint Eastwood back at the building. What's going on?
What's going on?
I got a little video of Saint pulling up because he brought the champagne today.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to show the bottle.
Because oh my God. No, because I've been having it at the crib and I was just scared to like bring it and then open it here and then you're like, God, this is ass, you know? So I was like, I'm going to open it here and I'm going to try it and then I'll take it, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, but then that's stupid because then like I'm going to take it opened, you know? So I was like, I'll just put some foil and I'll explain when I get there. But then but you like started recording and stuff, so I was like, oh my God.
I pulled my phone out. I feel like you were like, damn, hold on, let me explain first.
Bro, I got nervous. I got shy. I started blushing and everything.
Oh, no, man. Fuck that. I don't even. Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
You were so nice to pour the first glass, so we're going to go ahead and toast to this. I'm going to move this up.
Yeah.
Go. Cheers.
Hopefully you like it. If you don't like it, yo, be real.
I'm going to lie. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good, yeah.
You like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a whore. So, like...
We're like a minute in. Saint's already like, I'm a whore. That feels so unprompted already.
No, I was going to say, because, like, I'm so inclined to, like, want to just, like, drink it all, you know? But I'm, like, supposed to sip it, you know? But I want to just chug it all, you know?
You want to just chug it all?
No. Let's take our time. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm such a whore.
Yeah, I was like, because I drank it and it tastes good, and I'm like, God, I'm such a whore. Like, I want to drink it all, you know?
All right. Okay, so since you've been here, last time we were talking about Body that came out, which was a project with you and Born Out of Love. Shout out Born Out of Love.
Yeah. I guess.
I'm gonna get like
nah, I'm
I guess. But the cool thing is y'all got to perform some of these songs live at a show like recently. How was that?
Bro, it was really, really cool. A lot of like what's it called? We were just nervous before everything, trying to like figure everything out, you know, the way we're gonna go about it. Because originally we were gonna do like a medley, you know, of like a bunch of songs in the project. And then our friend, our DJ Roy, he was going to go ahead and like start mixing in all the songs and everything for us. But he was all excited because we were going to do it that way. Yeah. But as like we started kind of like messing around and like doing it around in rehearsals, we were like, I don't know. Because like some of these songs were just like, you've heard the project, right? Absolutely. Like you can perform some of them, but some of them are just kind of like beat, you know? So there'd be like a lot of chops, like trying to find a way to properly perform it. Yeah. We've always felt and envisioned that would have been better, like as a release party, you know, like just just something for people to vibe at, you know, not us really on the mic, like performing them, you know, aside from like maybe the one that we did at the show, which was Thighs. Yeah. And that one was the one that we ended up like picking, because we were thinking of that calf of doing the medley or doing calf or doing Thighs, you know, and those are like the fan favorites, right? Yeah. And we ultimately decided that like Thighs is the one that like everybody like really fucks with. I was just being like kind of selfish because Calf is like my favorite one in there. But we ended up just being like, no, we'll just go ahead and because then Dak hit this spot that ended up being where we went, Club Dada. Club Dada. That was where Dak got his first like he went and saw his first fucking artist for the first time. Really? Yeah, Xavier Omar. Do you know Xavier Omar by any chance? No. That's like that was his first concert, was going to Club Dada. Wow, you know, so it's kind of cool. So it's kind of like a full circle moment for him, you know. So I was like, I don't want to like, you know, be lame about it and like fucking like just fucking be there and like, you know, be like, we're sharing the stage, you know. Yeah. So I was like, yo, how about you just like do, you know, your set, do like, you know, your 3-4 songs, and then I'll go in and I'll do like 2 songs, and then we'll go ahead and close out with one of the songs from Body. Yeah. And we'll call it an opener, because we were the ones that opened up the whole show. Okay. Yeah. And we ended up doing it that way. He ended up doing 4 songs. I ended up doing 2 of mine. One that is unreleased, and then one that everybody knows is called Half Eternal. And then we ended up doing thighs. And dude, I don't have that much like what's it called, stage what do you call
like
it,
presence or like energy,
and what do you call it, whenever you experience, I don't have a stage experience. So I was just like kind of like so nervous about going up on stage because prior to that, the Javi show,
the Tulips, right?
The Tulips one, that was the first time ever like on stage in front of people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aside from like maybe open mics, you know, back in the trend days, you know, when they used to do things at Ampersand.
Yeah.
But this was the first time where it's like, no, you're going in as Saint Eastwood and whatnot. And I was just like, oh my God, you know, I'm nervous. So yeah, this was like definitely like, you know, it pushed me to the next level and it made me realize like, oh man, I could probably do this. Like, I think I can go ahead and do this, you know?
I saw a few like clips and stuff, cause I know like, at least the songs that I know, they're a little more somber. Even like Dax stuff, like Born Out of Love stuff, a little like slower. So the body like thing was, like I said, last time we were talking here, it's like, oh, it's just kind of just for fun, like all these things, and it ranges even in that project itself. But I just saw clips of y'all performing and just like going like crazy hype. Even like we were talking earlier where I saw a picture and it's just picture you holding the mic and you just like it looks like you're just yelling like going nuts. And I'm like, I was like, what song? What song got him going this hard?
Oh my God, that was Happy Eternal. And you know what's crazy about that? I hated the hook on that song when I made it.
Really? Why?
I don't know why. Like the verses were so clean when I did them. That song is like 4 years old, almost like 4 years. Yeah, it's like 4 years old. But when I did the song, I was like, yo, I don't, you know, the verses are beautiful. I love everything about it. But the hook, I was always like, I don't want to do this hook. You know, like I don't want to do it like this. And then when it finally came down to it, I just kind of like was like, nah, fuck it. It's not like I'm ever gonna perform this live ever, you know. And then that shit bit my ass hard, you know. And I ended up just like, cause the hook is very like screaming, you know. And I ended up just like doing it and just overly emphasizing that, just like, you know, to piss off Dak or to annoy him on stage, you know. And that's, I mean, it's kind of like why I like kind of like doing it with him, because it's just like how we're in the studio. I just do things to like bother him and annoy him, or just like, you know, because sometimes he'll be in the computer or something and I'll just like pull up and like slap him in the head or something, you know, just to get the vibes going, you know. Yeah.
Well, y'all mentioned that last time you were here, like a lot of like in studio stuff, like you would do a lot of shit just to piss him off, because you know how he like his brain works. Yeah. It's very like precise on certain things. And you're like, what if we just do this and it's completely fucking wrong? And he's like, God damn it. Like, like you would like legitimately be mad. Oh and then like shit, like cool stuff would come out of it. So that's I think that's pretty neat. Like that you guys can do that together. And they like get to play a show like together and like share that stage and do like the song together. Yeah. But you just released like a song and like a video.
Stop.
I know last time you were here, you're talking where like you're still trying to figure out like what your style is and stuff. Are you still? Is this song like indicative of what you want to like create, or is it really just one of the ones that you just made and?
Damn. I was hoping you wouldn't ask that.
She's like, I came here to just have fun and drink some champagne.
I just wanted to drink champagne.
Here, have a sip.
God, it's so good. So funny enough, Dakota made that beat as well for the song "Honest" that we ended up dropping. And every time I go in the studio with Dak, I think I like making music just in general, right? Because that's where we chose to go, type shit, you know. Yeah. But lately, being with Dakota in the studio is something that I like dead ass like look forward to. Like I'm just like, oh my God, like when he's like, hey, he's busy always, you know, he got his own thing going. Yeah. So when he's like, hey, like yo, what are you doing? And I'm like, you know what we're gonna do, you know? So I get excited, and when I pull up, it's always like two hours of us just like chopping it up, talking about like, you know, the scene and, you know, what we think and how we're gonna do things and all this stuff, you know? And then when we finally like get down to like the music, we start talking about that, like, yeah, see, that's what I mean with that, and this is what I mean with that. And he has beats that he's made, and Honest was a beat that he already had made. And before that, we had talked about pockets that are in the BPMs. Because he always talks about like, oh, you know, like I want something to feel faster and stuff. And the dynamic that we were approaching at that time was just kind of like something of something chill, something psychedelic, but at the same time like trap influenced, you know?
Okay.
But the original, the BPM now of that song is like 111, 110. And he originally had it like at 147.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah. And it was like, it was way faster. And I was like, okay. And when I heard it, it didn't sound bad. But I was like, yo, try like 110. You know, let's hear it at that pace. You know. And then he switched. He brought it down. And prior to that, we were talking about how like sometimes we think that the beat needs to go faster because that's what's gonna carry the vibe. You know, as opposed to us being the ones that carry that vibe. And that's when that song became that. Where I was like, hey, you know, how about you bring that down and hit 110 and it just smacked the way that it does. You know, the way you hear it now. And I was like, okay, now I'm gonna hop on that at 147. You know, like I'll be the 147.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be that rocket ship that carries everything. You know, at that momentum. And when we did it, I'm a little ashamed to admit, but it's actually a flex, but it's a weird flex, and it's shameful. But
shameful.
Yeah, it's so that song is a freestyle, and it's a one take. And it's the
whoa.
And it's,
wait, what?
Yeah, it's so usually like to find flows of things, you know, when I'm like, okay, hold on, let me see how I'm like feeling myself. Hold on, give me a sec, you know. I know, and I'm like, okay, you know, he puts it on or whatever, and then I just go ahead and like, you know, he puts it on, whatever, blah blah, and then I'm like, oh, my spirit, you know,
my spirit,
yeah, just like you know, just things that get you going. And that moment, I don't know what it was. The first take, the first everything, just that was the whole song. So the whole song has no cuts, no nothing. It's like literally honest. It's just my first take, and it's a freestyle. And it came out the way that it did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that's so cool. And at first I was like, yeah, you know, it's cool, you know, whatever. Because we don't think about it too much. We're like, okay, yeah, we'll come back at it. We'll just rewrite some parts, blah, blah, whatever. But the more we kept listening to it, I was like, yo, I think we got something here. And he was like, yo, hey, yeah, this shit's pretty hard, you know?
Yeah.
And prior to that, he was trying to build up some hype for the show that was coming up. And he was like, yo, hey, can I use one of your songs that you're going to do? And I was like, hey, that's unreleased. No. And I was like, yo, just put what we just made right now. And he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah, go ahead and put it on there. And he put Honest on that video. And I think you might have seen it. It's like, you know, just clips of skateboards and stuff. And my friend's wife immediately texted us and was like, what the fuck? Why haven't I heard that? Where is that song? La la. And I was like, oh, like, yeah, we literally just made that right now.
We just made it.
Yeah, like,
it's fresh.
Like, that's super fresh. Like, it's still hot off the oven, you know? And I was like, okay, you know? And then my friend Kev, who does my videos, Chico, he's always like too cool, you know. He's like the smoothest guy on earth, right?
Yeah.
And he never gives me like compliments. He always gives me compliments in a really, you know, funny way, you know, stop. And he was like, hey, that song is actually like really good and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yo, I mean, if you're saying that, fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do it. And I told Dak, you know, I was like, yo, so like you fuck with this? He was like, yeah, I think we could do some things here and there, you know. And I was like, nah, let's write that momentum. I was like, that was a moment that we captured, and let's just leave it fresh as it is like that. Yeah. Let's not mess it up. And he agreed to it, and he was like, yeah, let's do it then. And me and Chico were on our way to shoot the video for Atmos, which is another song that I got dropping. But yeah, unreleased. Oh no, Atmos is fucking sick, dude.
Atmos, like my gas utility.
Yeah. No. Okay. So it was called. I don't want to go on a different tangent.
Finish your thought.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
Okay. So we were gonna go shoot the video for Atmos, but yeah, like we had just done Honest like 2 days prior, and he was like, dude, like, let's just, you know, like, I like Honest, and I was like, yo, let's just shoot the video for Honest right now. And he was like, all right, bet, let's do that. And we shot the video for Honest. We were on that high. I was like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I was like, yeah, no, let's drop it. I don't care. Blah blah. Let's get the rights. Let's send, you know, let's get our fucking masters. Whatever. So we sent everything out and shit. And then we did the video, edited it, dropped it. And then I was just like, wow, this feels really good. I never get caught in especially because prior to everything I told you here, like, oh, I don't like videos. I don't like being on social media. I don't like being on camera. You know, I really don't. But there was something there that just felt real about everything.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like sit in there and try to write a 16. We weren't there going through like beats or anything. We were just there kind of like, all right, like everything just kind of felt very elevated, very like, you know. And I didn't want to lose that momentum, and it just felt real to me. And I think that I credit that song to everything that's pushing me forward in this like weird momentum that I'm swinging on right now. It's that realness of that moment, you know, because there wasn't nothing of like, no, it's got to sound like this and it's got to feel like that, and I got to talk about like this and I got to sound like that, and it just felt real to me.
Is that why it's called Honest?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, because like everything you're saying right now is like, oh, it's just like everything is just hitting as it came, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything that was like too super like overly like structured into like, oh, I need it to be this, instead of you just let it be. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like the whole title and everything, and all, even like the way the video came out, that all makes sense like together. It's like, oh, it's just literally as it got pulled from the ether, you know what I mean? Like as the idea was pulled into like your head and came out, like, you know, with whatever vocals you put onto it and like whatever lyrics, like, oh, that's what it is. And even like the video, it's like that's what it like. It's just shot in the moment and captured. That makes a lot of sense. That's kind of really that's really dope.
And man, dude, and like everything just kind of felt like, even talking about it feels kind of like funny, you know, but everything was just kind of like prolific in a weird way. And like the song's not even like all that, you know, I'm not talking about like, you know, metaphorical stuff, you know. I was literally just talking about how like, you know, just regular shit, right? Like, oh, I was broke type shit and I'm doing good now type shit. So, but the song just has meaning to me.
But I feel like for you, like it, from what it sounds like and just from what I've seen, it almost caused like this, not metamorphosis, but it's like coming out of like a cocoon kind of thing. Because you were talking about like the social media stuff, and I remember last time you're like, yeah, I don't really like being on there, and I've seen a lot of more stuff of you like, oh, I'm feeling myself. So it feels like Dad realized like, oh shit, I'm good, like I'm nice with this shit, like let me why am I hiding, like why am I thinking like I shouldn't be like on here, like I think like you found your place and you're like, oh, I can fucking do this and I should be doing it, you know what I mean? Like why? So because I've seen a lot more like of you showing like even just like your creativity and stuff like that, you doing like things like it, just showing it off more. Whereas you were saying before, like, oh, I was like, you know, I really don't like that. I do like some stuff, like, but you know, you were saying it like, oh, I don't want to put that out, like why? And now it's more like, no, I do it, like I'm gonna put it out because like that's me, you know? Which goes back to the whole like honest thing, like that's it's authentic. Yeah.
Oh, dude, sick, bro.
Like it's definitely like a little more. I was wondering, like that's one of the things when you asked, like when we were like talking about you coming on, I was just like, I wonder, like I'm gonna see about this because that's what I've like kind of seen. I'm like, oh, there's a lot more Saint out here like that I've been seeing. And I'm like, I wonder if there's like a little switch here. But that's cool that it's off of like this track that was created very like organically, like without really like forcing anything into it. And it's how like even when I like was writing music, that's one of the things like when I finally like felt like I got it was because I'm like, oh, I don't know why the fuck I'm trying to like force things or force an idea or this and that, or it's got to sound like this or it's got to do this. I'm like, if I most of the songs that I love that I wrote were like, oh, I just let that shit happen. And it happened in a cool ass way. I'm like, oh shit, like I really don't have to try to do anything. Like let's just figure out what I actually want to create, you know? Yeah.
It's about just like, it's just real.
Yeah.
It's just honest.
Hey, hold on. We gotta do that again. Hold on.
Whoa.
Say it again. You're just what?
It's just honest.
You gotta plug that in. Honest. You can stream Honest everywhere right now on music platforms and music video.
Yo, we still don't care about numbers though.
We still don't care about numbers.
We still don't care about numbers because I realized that in that small amount of time.
Let me check them. Nah.
Come on, no, relax. Relax. No, in that small amount of time in which I was like pushing everything, and still now, because like I'm moving really different right now. I kind of started like feeling that, like hold on, like I gotta like maybe like market it like this, and I gotta like you know. And I was like, no, stop. I was like, that's not who you are. I'm letting social media and everything around me get to me. Yeah. You know? And I don't want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. I feel like that kills art. And I seen it, you know, third partying other people, you know, in the local and non-local scene. Yeah. And it tends to just be like, you know, just like Turtle Show. It's kind of like, you know, and I don't want to be that. So I always kind of be like, no, come on, like you do it because you love it, and because this genuinely on some real shit brings me the most amount of happiness, dude. Like, I mean, like, yo, it goes back to the song, like dead ass. Like I was like, you know, doing things that I was remembering times where I couldn't do certain things because of my lack of confidence, because of my lack of belief, and now this just feels real. Like it doesn't feel fake. It's just kind of like, yo, I'm just putting it out there, not to get anywhere, but just to fuck it, you know. Like, yo, in a weird way, it's kind of contradicting and stupid because, you know, I'm doing this podcast with you, right?
Sure, yeah.
So you're just kind of like, then why are you here right now if you don't want nobody to hear you, you know? But it's like, no, because I want people out there. I also want to be like the spokesperson for people that are just kind of like, yo, I'm stressing out with numbers and stuff. You know, I want to tell them like, yo, like, it's not always about that. Yeah. Sometimes it's just keeping it real with the art. And if that brings you happiness and sharing your art and making others feel certain types of way makes you feel something, that's dope. And that's all you really need. Yeah. You know?
No, yeah. The numbers thing of stuff, like, it does get people obsessive, especially when people figure out a thing and it's like, oh, that worked, like, for views, like maybe I can keep doing that thing. But when it comes, which it depends on whatever end goals you're looking for, but in most experiences that I've seen, if you do it for those numbers, like once that becomes like a bigger factor than just doing it because you love it, you end up doing some shit and you end up like hating it. And you look at like musicians, you look at just like artists, you look at like fucking actors who are making like these movies, and then like you realize like they're doing the shit that they do. It's like, oh really? Like then like there's an actor who's like, oh, I honestly just love gardening, but you know the movies paid money and like now I can do that shit. Yeah. But yeah, once people get obsessed with that, you end up like, I don't know. I just, when I look at it, I just never want to hate like something that brings me joy. Exactly. Like, so I'm just like, okay, so things like, even like I said, I've been doing this podcast like 2.5 years now, and I've done stuff that I'm like, oh, like I want to create these because I find them enjoyable. But like numbers wise, it's never like I'm going to do like something gimmick. Like, I don't know. It just gives me like, I get cringy as fuck when if I have a thought like that, I'm like, oh, this would bring views. I'm like, who the fuck cares, man? Like, because I do this because it's fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I like having these conversations. Like, it brings, I get to talk to like artists that I enjoy. Like, I get to talk to my friends, and I get to put something out. And I do enjoy like that. The more people find it, the more people are like, oh, this is cool too. Like, and enjoy like being able to see it. Because I know like I enjoy like certain like podcasts, certain things. I'm like, yeah, I would like to learn more about that. Like, okay, so now it's available. So it does help like spread to others like happiness and stuff, which I do enjoy. I do like, in a way, being an entertainer. Everything I've ever done, like, you know, fronting a band, like I used to like run a vlog. Everything was like entertainment. I've always loved doing that. So I do see that, but it's never been like, what can I do to get more views? Like, even when I was running a vlog, I was doing a lot of like crazy shit when I was running a vlog. Yeah. But it was more like because the vlog is like, oh, I got to hang out with my friends and we got to do some dumb shit. Yeah, like, and it was fun. Exactly. And I'm like, and then when I went to like create, like when I was like editing and stuff, like, oh, I can make this like seem like a fun time. And people who would see that would be like, oh, like y'all always like do some cool shit. I'm like, yeah, like it brings you into it too. And I just look at it like that. It's like, it's really like, it's all for me, it's always been an expression, a way to express and spread like joy like around. So stuff that if I feel good doing this, I would want other people to be able to like to feel involved in it too. Yeah. But yeah, numbers are really like
they're poison.
Yeah, I think so.
They're poison. And just, I mean, I don't know if anybody's giving you flowers, you know, but I want to give you flowers because like, yo, like I mean, and it's kind of like they're ego flowers, low key, because you posted about me, and you can ask Dak. Like when we were making Body, I would see that like Javi and like him, they were just kind of getting like attention from y'all, and I was like, man, like, why aren't they fucking with me, you know? And Dak would always be like, cause you ain't posting shit. It's like, you ain't dropping shit. Like, what do you mean, you know? And I was like, watch, like, OC's gonna listen to me one day. Like, OC's gonna hear my music one day, you know? And he was like, no, that's what we're doing, Body. Like, you know, we're gonna go ahead and get this, and he's gonna hear it and whatnot, you know? And most people wouldn't admit this because it's like, you know, you know? But no, I just wanted it. I've always wanted to get your attention. I've always wanted you to kind of see me and stuff because I would see you in the things, and I was like, damn, I want to talk to OC. Now I don't know if you remember for one show.
It was at Chill Sounds. It was at the original Chill Sounds. I remember and I didn't remember again. Man. And this is completely like my social anxiety. So I am like, I will talk and be like, cool, like I understand. And then as soon as you leave, I'm just like, I forgot fucking everything. But when Dak brought you up, and because he was like telling me, he's like, hey, like it'd be cool to you're doing the body project, and he was like, oh, I want to do like this intro, I'm working with it. My friend, I'm like, oh, cool. And it never clicked. We did it, and then he's like, yeah. And I told him, I was like, well, if you want to come on, like it's on. And then like when you did come on, I'm just like, the story immediately. I just fucking burp. Hold on.
That's cool. No, like it's cool.
Like the story just immediately clicked. I was like, wait, I've met you before. And I remember you introducing yourself. And it all just came back. I'm like, wait, it was at Chill Sounds.
Yeah.
And that day we were running around fucking crazy. Yeah. But like that full circle. And that's something like why I like doing this, because there's so many artists that deserve that shit, and I feel like I want to make sure you feel like you're getting like the flowers and the attention, and like making sure people like, oh yeah, you do. Not only like am I gonna say like, oh, I like that band, it's like, no, like come on, like let's talk about how much I like it, or let's talk like show off, like that's why I love like when people come on here and just start like talking, and sometimes I'm like I've had some people who are just like, oh, they're going off, and I'm just like, I'm here having the fucking time of my life. I'm like, yes, dude, like one of the greatest like pleasures in life is listening to someone talk about what they love, and like everybody's coming on here is like writing music that they really like doing, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude, tell me all the fucking about it, you know, it's great. But yeah, it's just fun. But I remember he's like, I was like, oh yeah, he was telling like he'll get on like the podcast one day, and I'm like, yeah, tell me get on the podcast.
But like it was like he was just like, that's what you want to do, and I was just like I want to do that, and he was just like, all right, like, you know, okay, like if that's what you want, you know, most people want to like, you know, get streams or like, you know, get something. I guess you just want to be put on with noise rod, I guess. I was like, nah, dude. I was like, you don't understand what you guys are doing, and I've always like fucking, oh my god, because I started kind of like my own little collective like 6 years ago, and I called it All of Us, and I got all my friends and I convinced them all to move into a house.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. We were like 19, 20.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I convinced them all to move into a house, and I brought my studio with me, and you know, Chico, who helps me with videos, and he's my best friend too. He was just like, he moved in with me, my best friend Tony, and then my best friend. I mean, they're all my best friends, and we're all best friends.
All the best friends.
Yeah, we're all best friends. And then you know, DJ Roy, we all lived together, and it was with the purpose of like, you know, building like this like creative factory machine, you know. And, you know, for certain reasons, it just didn't come to be, you know?
Yeah.
Life happens type shit. But then I see you guys, and I'm like, that's right there. That's what I always envisioned, you know? It's just somebody really caring about the music scene, really putting forward, doing shows, like showcasing people, like just genuinely giving love to the community, you know? And that's why like it was always like, hey, yo, hats off to like, you know, OC, hats off to DJ, hats off to like, you know, the whole collective. I mean, I don't know all of y'all, I'm sorry. But like, you know, hats off to all of y'all, because you guys are doing cool ass shit, you know? So I just wanted to meet y'all, not like, well, you know, noticing me like, you know, I'm doing cool shit. But also to just be like, hey, like, thank you. I told you last time, but I just want to like tell you, like every time I see you, like, yo, thank you, OC. Like you're fucking awesome, dude. Like
I
straight
appreciate
up.
That means a lot. I've had like a few moments actually in the past few months, like bring some sort of like fulfillment to like what I do. I mean, I feel fulfilled with like what I'm doing, but like I've had people sometimes like come up and be like, oh, did you see this person's doing what you're doing? Like this and that. I'm like, I was like, I don't want to see other people creating as a competition. When I was in a band, I didn't do that. I go, in this either. I go, you have to understand, if there's more people curating like badass shows, creating content for artists, doing all this stuff, I go, that just makes that community way richer in like artists. And it brings I go, because like, it is crazy for me to be like, I want to be the only game in town. Like, that's fucking crazy. I go, you know how like much I would have to work to talk to every fucking great artist around town? Like, I'm never going to get through it, you know, which is awesome. But if there's more people doing, because there's like, I've seen like, there's a guy who reached out to me a few times, but his podcast is Music on My Mind, and I had like an artist on here. I had Yasmin on here. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe you got to her first.
I love Yasmin.
Yasmin's so good.
I love Yasmin.
So good.
Yo, shouts out Yasmin real quick, bro.
Shout out Yasmin.
I went to that show too. I think I saw you there. Or I don't know if you pulled up to that one. The last one she did at the Post.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's
really good.
She's fucking phenomenal.
But he was talking about like, oh, like you did a podcast with her first, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I just like I knew her, whatever. But like he's done a bunch of artists that like I haven't even heard of, and I'm just like, that's fucking cool. I'm like, I'm glad you're doing. I had somebody pull up to me, like 2 things that happened to me that were like surreal moments.
Yeah.
Especially like doing this, like it was so weird. Like I was dead ass like in Sam's Club, like just buying groceries, dude.
Yeah.
And a kid ran up to me and he's like, hey, like you're like part of Noise Ride, right? And I'm just like, oh yeah. He's like, dude, I'm listening to your podcast right now. And I'm like, he shows me, and I'm just like, bro, that's wild. I was like, cool. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, it turns out he's a photographer. He was like at a show we put on. We like talked for a little bit. My mom was there, so she was like, okay, she had just come back from like Mexico. She's like, are you famous now or something? I'm like, no, like, but so I was like, that's new. But the other thing is I met some dude randomly. I went to Caves in Arlington, which I haven't been in like forever.
What is that? What is that?
Caves is like a venue out in Arlington.
Oh, okay. I don't know why they mean like real.
A real cave.
I was like, there's caves in Arlington.
In the middle of a cave, dude. Random person knew about the podcast. No, I had a guy come up to me, and he was talking to me. He's like, hey, like he's talking about like podcasts. Like he saw I was wearing a Noise Ride hat, so he's like, oh, like, you part of that, right? Yeah, this and that. He did nonchalant first, and he's like, okay, I know who you are. Like, but he's like, I actually started a podcast because of like I saw that you were creating like yours and saw that you could do it, and I'm like, fuck yes. Sick. I go, because that's how it should be. It should be like, I'm cool, like blah blah. And I talked to him a little bit about that, but I love when creativity just spreads more creativity. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, it can be done. I can fucking do it too. And you can, like, so many people can like get into it. And it's hard. Like, there's a lot of people discouraged. I think this scene, we're very spoiled in the fact that we're like, there's so many places to play. Even like with venues shutting down and stuff like that, there's still so many ways like for you to get into so many scenes, like so many different aspects of music here. It's fucking great, dude.
No, dude, it's untapped market, right?
Dude, I just wanted to, that's what, like, when Noise or anything, I was like, we just want to be a part of it. We just want to contribute to a scene we've grown up in. We've gone to shows, we played in bands. Like, we just want to, like, what can we do to make some cool shit too? Like, literally, like, the motto, and it's funny, you'll ask any one of us, the motto has always been doing cool shit with cool people. That's it. Like, that's the goal. Like, whatever like aspect it may come in, like that's what we want to do, and it's fucking tight. You get to meet great people and go. When you have like one of those like really like successful events, you're like, this is fucking sick. Look at everybody having fun. Yeah, I'm like, that's fucking great. Yeah,
bro. Thank you. Like that ass, thank you. Like you got the air horn thing. You gotta do that air horn thing for yourself right now.
On myself, I can't do it on myself.
You're awesome.
I just get one. There we go. That shit's loud as fuck. I bet DJ hates that when he mixes this shit. You finished? Is there more in this bottle?
Yeah. There's a little bit left.
Here, you finish the bottle though.
You want me to finish the bottle?
Yeah, I want you to feel fancy. I want you to feel fancy. Huh? Yeah, or you want to split it? You split it?
Yeah, we can split it.
All right. Take the foil off. That's what he was just doing. Did the camera catch it?
Oh my God, I was trying to hide.
Bro, I still think because I really, really like. I know y'all were like a little not apprehensive, but we're wondering like that Body was like
what is
apprehensive, like kind of like a standoffish, I guess is kind of the word. Not like towards that, but like on Body as a project.
No,
like,
yeah,
there was a lot of like
definitely.
like things like it's just silly, it's just like this kind of thing. I absolutely love, but I think because of how just vibey that shit is throughout, you know what I mean? But what y'all brought up is like trying to do like some sort of release party and like I think what you were talking about, like working a set on some of those, like some of those we were just like vibing. Yeah. That shit as like even just like a live like DJ set kind of thing where you guys show up and do like some of the vocals like during it, but other than that it's just like dancing. That'd be fucking sick. And I still think that's something like that should be looked at. Like an event, like I mean you have all the parts. You have you and Dak like could literally do the vocals. You have you like a DJ like DJ Roy who could literally like set something up. You just get all your fucking friends to come through it.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, no, dude.
I'm telling you, just throw a party and it would be fun.
Yo, okay. So, oh my God, I'm buzzing. So the thing was that we were supposed to have done that, but it's just, man, it's just a lot of things just kind of happened, and like in our personal like lives type shit, you know. And it made it just kind of like, and it's everything with like the artistry and like how fully committed we are to like embracing our artistic identity, you know. And it just came to be that we felt that Body wasn't kind of like embracing that, you know.
Gotcha.
And as we were making it, we knew.
Yeah.
And Dak would always say it all the time, like, "This is gonna set expectations." Yeah, I'm making fun of you. This is gonna set expectations. I already know, Saeed. I already know. And I was like, dude, I know, but like, yo, this is hot shit, you know. Like, we're making cool shit, you know. But ultimately, it was just kind of like we just got down to like, you know, a really serious conversation and being like, you know, do we want to pursue this in any way to reach whatever we feel like it can reach?
Yeah.
And ultimately, we just kind of shut it down, you know?
Makes sense.
I mean, Dakota will come out. I mean, if he hears me saying this, he'll be like, no, I never said we shut it down. I'm down. So, yeah, he might be down. But, you know, I'm about to talk Spanish. It's the thing about, like, you know.
Next 5 minutes in Spanish?
No, es que la cosa es de que, you know.
Porque la gente quiere escuchar cuerpo, ¿ok? La gente quiere cuerpo.
It's just, Dak just, he just feels that way about it, and I had to back it up, and I respect it.
I think both of y'all, like, again, it wasn't a reflection of what you guys are as artists, you know what I mean? It was a fun project to do together. Maybe even to the fact where, like, or maybe the project should have had, like, a whole, like, different name attached to it. Because it isn't, like what Born Out of Love writes, and it isn't like a Saint Eastwood. Like, so it really is like was a completely like new project. So I definitely understand that. And yeah, putting stuff out under your name and be like, and some people hearing it, like again, like me and be like, oh, I love that shit. Yeah, like, that shit's pretty badass. But no, I mean, if it's not something, again, we're going back to like honesty and being like genuine. Like if it's something that you're not like, oh, I don't really want to put like my heart into this because it's not in it. You know, to the degree that you want to pursue that, like, that style, then don't do it. Yeah, absolutely not.
No, it's just, what do you call it? Like, I just had to kind of like understand everything. Cause also within everything that and it makes sense to me then. Cause I would always kind of be standoffish against like those thoughts as well. Just kind of being like, yo, why can't we do it? You know? But now just kind of maturing and being like, oh, okay, that was where Dak was at. You know, sometimes it's just kind of like maturing and realizing, hey, you were right. Yeah. You know? And he was totally right in that sense. Because now that I'm pushing everything that I'm pushing, I'm just kind of like, Body doesn't really fit that.
Reflect where you're trying to go.
But you know what, man? Oh my God, we're hoarse. Because
me too. Look, you just poured this shit. I want to show. Look at this. Look how much I got left.
You down to chug it?
I'm just chugging.
Let's chug it. Show the camera.
We're
chugging that.
Look, we're chugging. I'm only chugging a little bit. God damn.
Yo, thank you for this. I feel really good. Yo, I don't drink. I don't drink. I hope.
Bro, what?
I hope you know. No, I do. Yeah, I do drink. But I don't drink often.
I don't either. So that's why I told you, because you're like, are you down? Because you. Hold on. For a second, like, okay. I don't want to break, but you were like, oh, let's do like a drinking thing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I just got a hard reminder that I don't have a tolerance anymore. Me and my girlfriend went to San Antonio to see like her favorite band, The Maine. This was supposed to be like super special because like this is like favorite band of all time, and this is the first time we're seeing them together. So we took a trip out there, had a blah blah blah, and we got I mean, we've pregame before shows before, but we'll take like one or two of these, like chug them, and just like, okay, we mellow out during the whole show. We don't drink anything in the show. But this time she was like, oh, let's get it's like a bottle. It's like that Tamarindo, like Smirnoff vodka.
Oh yeah,
it's
so
delicious,
good. So good.
But
like the paleta shots, basically.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it is.
So good.
And I messed up because I always say like every time I play bartender, I lose. Yeah. And I'm there like sitting. I'm like, I feel fine. There's nothing going on. Like I literally like the venue was in walking distance from the hotel, so we like walked there. I'm like, well, we're not driving anywhere, so whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Bro, it all hit. Yeah. At the same time, and I'm just like, bro, I don't have the tolerance that I think I have up here. That's why when you said it, I'm like, you know what? I actually do have something to do after this. Like, I can't go crazy. But dude, I don't even. Where the hell prompted this? I have no idea.
No. It's just
yeah, I don't have a tolerance.
I just wanted to have fun because I was like, you know what? This is kind of like my first like episode, so I wanted to be like memorable, you know, and just like be goofy on camera. I think the coolest thing that we can be is oh my god, I'm such a cornball. But the coolest thing we can be is vulnerable.
Yeah,
you know. And I just figured for my first like, you know, interview with you, I feel like alcohol tends to like help vulnerability.
Just loosen it. Just loosen it up. Yeah, you use it to a degree. And like the cool thing that I've always like tried to curate with this show, not even like curate, like curate's like too big of a word for it. But I didn't want like every interview, I guess, based podcast that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Were the ones that didn't feel like someone was getting interviewed. Where it just felt like, oh, this person came in and they're talking just like normal. I'm like, that's what I want to do. So like, I've never had like, oh, these are the questions that I'm going to ask them. Unless it's legitimately something that I'm just like, I want to know this. Yeah. So that's why like everything that I ask, I'm like, I'm genuinely just fucking curious. You know what I mean? Am I worried like, what do the people want to ask? I'm never asked like doing polls and be like, what should I ask this person? Who gives a fuck? Like I'm going to ask what like I'm curious about. And it just becomes more natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've told DJ this a few times, but I've gotten this compliment, I guess. It's the one that really like, it makes me feel some type of way. And it's people who have like, I've met for like the first time and they're like, oh, you like made that feel really comfortable. Like I didn't feel like uncomfortable around. I was like, fucking great. I go, that's what I want to do. Like, cause when I kept it going, I'm like, it'd be really cool to have something to show artists' personalities. I go, not show too deep, like not just like, oh, like this, and this, like these are my questions. I'm like, it'd be cool like for people to see like this is how they are, you know what I mean? And not have to, I don't have to like shape you into like this is what I want you to be on the camera. I'm just like, fuck it, whatever you're doing, that's you. So we're gonna let you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's fun. And it's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, and that's how it feels right now.
Bro, I keep burping on the mic. I apologize.
Hey, that's on DJ. Sorry, DJ. That's on you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, DJ.
Thank you. This is such a great space. I'm so happy right now.
So, Saint Eastwood, what you let's see. First, you know what? I don't think I asked you last time. How'd you come up with that name?
Oh my god. So I originally went as Poppy Eastwood.
Poppy Eastwood?
Poppy Eastwood,
okay, what made you change that?
Come on. I'm getting older. Like, so I used to, okay.
I'm getting older.
Okay, I'm trying to find a way to say it without being like, you know.
Let me change the sign.
Yeah, no.
Poppy Eastwood.
No. Because, Apple needs to get their shit together. They still have me down as Poppy Eastwood. And, and I upload everything on DistroKid. I don't know what the fuck's up with them. But, so, Poppy, because I've, oh my god, are we gonna get personal?
Are we getting personal?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get personal.
All right, I need one more.
Okay, get one. Can I get one?
Yeah. Here.
What are these? Nah, I've never seen these before.
What are these before? I think it's like a spritzer.
A spritzer?
That's because I'm trying to get skinny for summer, so 2 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
Not trying to get
skinny. Okay. No, I'm trying to get skinny too. So
I'm trying to get skinny.
Hey, we're trying to get skinny. Cheers to getting skinny. Skinny and drunk.
Skinny and drunk. What? Halfway there?
Okay, so
all right.
So I had a little traumatic moment in my life that made me mature super rapidly. At 13, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't like dropping that because it's just kind of like, oh, what? You know? And
sorry. It's like, what?
Yeah. And I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me because I got it, right? But no, I battled that shit for 10 years.
Fuck.
Yeah. 8 different tumors. And 3 different spots of my leg. So like 2, and then one of them got hit 4 times. So from 13 to 23, I'm about to give my age away. Oh my God. So I'm 25 now.
I'm fucking 33.
Okay. What? I feel like we're living, you know, I'm young, you know.
You are. Yes.
I'm like 19 at heart, you know. Yeah. But no. So I battled that, you know, and I had to mature like super, super fast. So when everybody was going through puberty and doing middle school and having fun and like girls and oh my god, hair on my dick, you know, I was just kind of like, oh man, I don't know if like I'm gonna live tomorrow, dude. You know, doing chemo, doing radiations and stuff, being in the hospital every day type shit. And yeah, that shit made me realize like, yo, life is fucking short, dude. And the only way that I had to like kind of like figure that shit out and be like, nah, like I gotta keep pushing was my determination to like be a good person. Like I feel like not everybody tries to be a good person. They always kind of like fake being a good person, or like kind of like being like, oh, what's the best thing to do? You know, what's like what would be the best thing that I could do? What would Jesus do? And I don't think like that. I always think like, nah, if we're gonna do something kind, it's gonna be out of the heart. And it's to the point where when I am an asshole, boy, that shit bites me back hard. You know, because being an asshole, I know when I'm an asshole because I do it on purpose. Yeah. And it eats at my soul. And so yeah, I had to grow up, you know, and due to me being like, you know, everybody in middle school and everybody in high school kind of knew about that type shit. And they would pull up and they'd be like, yeah, nah, oh man, like you're going through so much, I don't even understand, you know. And I was like, yeah, nah. And I was very analytical, very deep, very like, nah, yeah, you know, I just feel like we gotta like, you know, figure that shit out, you know. And I was like, damn, I'm a young father, you know. I'm a young father, you know, because I'm schooling a lot of these kids because they're like, oh man, I don't know. Like, and then they come to me and they came to me with their problems at like 14, 15. And they're like, try to tell me like, yeah, nah, Jessica's like tripping on me, bro. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm tripping. Like, that's nothing to what you got going on, big bro. Like, all that stuff. And I was like, big bro, like, I'm, you know, you older than me. Like, what are you talking about, you know? But it was because of everything that I went through. And I realized that early on, that experience gave you this like status because of everything that you go through. People tend to respect you more. And I never took it lightly. I didn't use it as a form to like, oh man, I'm about to manipulate the fuck out of everybody. Oh, my leg, you know? Like, nah, never. Just jokingly. I always joke with my guys. Just my guys. But never. So I was like, nah, we're going to keep it 1,000 with everybody. We're going to be good people. And we're going to do everything with passion and love, you know? That's why I am the way I am, right? With everything with music and stuff. And
so you understood the gravity of like what was going through you at 13.
Oh yeah,
like you genuinely faced like mortality.
Yeah, at 13.
That's fucking crazy.
And it's not even on some like and not to like diminish anybody else's traumatic experiences. I don't want to do that. But like, you know, sometimes when people are like, oh, I was in a fatal car crash, I know what that's like. And I was like, well, yeah, I get that, you know. But that's kind of like, you know, you swerved and it happened. And yeah, mine was just kind of like every day I wake up and I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I think about the memes. But I would wake up, you know what meme I'm thinking about? Do you know? You know what you're doing? Why you trying to think about the memes? So I would wake up in the middle of the night like, yo, like what's gonna happen with me type shit, you know? And everything that came from that always kind of made me be like, nah, like I'm gonna handle myself accordingly. I'm gonna handle myself differently. Still human. I still make mistakes. I ain't perfect. I've done some fucked up shit. Like I'm no better than anybody else in any way. And I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to make people think that that because I went through all of this. Like, oh no, you're a soul. You're a saint. You know. Yeah. Like no, never. It's just shit that made me realize, nah, like I'm a young father. These motherfuckers came to me and would ask me things, and I was like, nah, I gotta like just put my best foot forward and always say what I think genuine. Not what I think like, nah, you should just like, nah, whatever, like, nah, whatever. You know, I would think about what was genuinely as a being the best human being you can be on earth. What would be the best thing you can be? And I would think like, yo, I'm a young father. Sorry, and I came back to that because we laughed and everything. But being a young father, and I was like, what's a young father? You know, you call Papi, you know, like Papi. And I'm an immigrant. I'm an immigrant too. You can take that off. You don't have to keep it on there. But fucking leave it on there. I'm always so ashamed about that. Just because of like
ashamed, really?
Because of like God, man, we're getting real. Because of the opportunities that I'm not able to share with other people that are from here. Yeah, and that always breaks my heart. that I have to work a little harder to get things that I need, you know? And it sucks. Yeah. You know, it really fucking sucks. But it makes me who I am. It shapes me. It molds me. It's like, nah, I just got to be tougher, bro. Like, you know, like, fuck it. You know, everything's not on a silver platter.
Yeah.
So I'm an immigrant, you know. And when we came here from the U.S., from Mexico, I was 5 years old. And we landed on Eastwood, Fort Worth. And that's like by like East Berry Branch Library. Yeah. It used to be a carnival, then it became a fiesta. And it's over there by Miller. And that was the area that I just kind of like always was around. That's like where I was. And many people can argue with me and be like, nah, that's Hollywood. No, it's Eastwood. Shut up. Same with like, you know, you go down to Shackleford, that whole area, Eastland. Yeah. It's Eastwood. And that's what it just kind of came to me. I'm a young father, and this is where my new life came to be. Because I always tend to think about how different my life would have been if I would have everything that happened to me in terms of like health-wise. That was inevitable. Yeah, that would have happened whether I was here in the U.S. or whether I was in Mexico. So I don't know if it's like my upbringing here, being an immigrant, you know, being a Spanish speaker first, and then, you know, learning English, and then like being different than other kids, and not being open to the same opportunities that always made me feel like I was like different, you know. And it was a huge insecurity. That's why I was like, nah, don't put that on there, because it still bites at me. Yeah. It still lets me know that I feel like I'm not as good as everybody else. And that's where my insecurity complex comes from. I had a therapist. We talked. Yeah. So she you know, they would explain all these things to me, and I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of always felt like Papi Eastwood, yeah, childish ass name. But I wanted to turn it into a superpower, just kind of like Superman, but like it's Papi Eastwood. Yeah. You know? Okay. And yeah, I just kind of went with that for like 2 years, like from 2019, or like 3 years, 2019 to like 2021. And then 2022, I was like, what am I doing? I'm getting old. Like, no one's going to call me Papi. I'm not David Ortiz. I'm not out here fucking doing home runs like crazy. And my legacy didn't turn out to be the way that my everybody around me always told me, like, no, you're gonna do great things, whether it's in music, whether it's in this, whether it's in that, you're just meant to be this. And I was just like, yo, I'm a regular motherfucker like everybody else, like, relax, you know. And I just kind of had that idea of like bringing Saint along. And Saint is actually a joke, you know, because you know, people talk about saints, and in the Bible they talk about like the apostles of Jesus are the saints. You know, yes, where you got Saint John, you know, Saint Paul, you know, Saint George. And now to the people that aren't like, you know, familiar with everything, they always pray to them, or they think of them in high regard, because they think that they're saints because they were chosen by Jesus amongst other people, you know, above from everybody else. Yeah. But Jesus chose them because they were broken people, you know, far more than everybody else. They were insecure. They were broken. They were always like questioning Jesus, like, hey, you're tripping, bro. Like, Jesus, you're tripping. And Jesus would be like, hey, bro, like, trust. Like, damn, you know? I just imagine God always face-palming himself. I mean, Jesus just face-palming himself like, bro, just walk on water, you know? And I just kind of had that idea of like being like, oh man, I'll just call myself Saint Eastwood. Because I'll consider myself like this, like I have this calling by something bigger than me, whether it's God, whether it's life, whether it's the universe, whether it's whatever you want to believe, right? Yeah. And but in itself is a joke against me, because I myself know that I'm not a saint. So it's just kind of something that they call me, and they can always kind of like bite at me to make me feel like I should be better. Yeah. You know? So when people call me saint, and they don't, because I'm not at that level. You're the only person that has said my name, Saint Eastwood. Really? Yeah. No, on God, yeah. And I always kind of said, like, okay, whenever I reach, if I reach that certain demographic, if I reach that following, I want this name to bite at me. I want them, whenever they say this, to make me feel uncomfortable, because I'm calling myself something that I'm not. Yeah. Something that almost feels blasphemous, you know, upon being mentioned in like to me, you know. And that's the reason why I chose that, Saint. And then Eastwood was just like, it was the changing of everything. Like I had mentioned, just to do that callback. It would have been the same if I tend to imagine if my parents hadn't come here from Juarez.
Yeah.
So I was born in Ciudad Juarez.
Okay.
Chihuahua. So I'm a border kid. Chihuahua, baby. But my parents are originally from Parral. And I always think about like, yo, what would have happened? Especially the way that city is laid out. That city is crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's a rough city.
So, the fucking economy is horrible out there. Crime is horrible out there. The living fucking situation is horrible out there. So I just tend to imagine like, damn, imagine if I would have been diagnosed with cancer at 13 in Ciudad Juarez. What would have been of me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Would I still even be here? So I think about Eastwood and I think about where I came. I can't be fucking Poppy Fort Worth, or like Saint Fort Worth. So Eastwood was just really like the county, the Providence, that where my whole life changed. Yeah. Unknowingly. I was 5. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And who was I to know that 8 years later I would get hit with what I got hit?
Yeah.
So I just kind of made it that message for myself that I wanted to kind of push myself to be a better person. So when they call me Saint, I know I'm not a saint. I know I do fucked up things on the daily. So it'll remind me and I'll be like, nah, I'm going to be better.
There's a few things in there. Like, a couple things. One, the first thing is like, why I asked like, were you able to like actually capture like your or be aware of like your mortality at 13? And that to me is like really a crazy feeling, because when you are young, and I realize this now, like as I'm older, when you're young, like you were talking about like car accidents and stuff like that, like I had a lot of wild shit happen to me. Not once did I ever doubt that I was gonna make it through. Not once was I like, oh shit, that could have been it. Like, even on like really scary shit, like close calls with car accidents and stuff like that. Not once was I was on that invincible like phase, which like youth gives you. It's like, it's just going to go on. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like and for a long time I kept bringing up this idea that my brain for some reason was pushing, of like, it's fine, like to fuck up, to like not give it my all, because I'll get another shot. Brain was like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. You're going to get, like, you'll get it right the next time. And it took forever. And then when I sat down and it just like, even when I would have the conversation with myself, it wasn't till like, I was older that I was like, that time is gone. Like, you won't get that ever again. Yeah. And it could be gone today, like today, tomorrow, the next minute, like nothing, absolutely nothing, like is promise. And so going into like the thing about being a good person, I am more under the impression of myself as like, I'm not a naturally good person. I work my ass off to be a good person. Yeah. Like it takes effort. Like everything takes effort. No one is just like naturally whatever. Like you've done fucked up shit. Like I feel like everybody like has done fucked up shit, has had those shitty ass fucking thoughts. It is actively like, okay, how do I not be an asshole? How do I not impede somebody else's happiness? How do I do my best to just like make people feel right? And like realizing that, I was like, oh, because I was always like, fuck, like I always have like these shitty ass thoughts, like I'm a bad person. Like I went years with being like, I'm not a good person. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, like that's just I'm not, whatever. And like in my mind, because people were like, "No, you're a good person." I'm like, "I'm not." Like people don't know, like that I'm not a good person. Yeah. And then it coming to the realization was like, oh, it's the act that I do every day of like actively being like, I'm the bad person that I think I am. Like I'm not gonna be that person today. Yeah. And just actively doing that, like it takes effort, and that's what I feel like makes you at the end of the line like a good person. The fact that you are trying to be a good person, like with everything you do, like with being conscious of like not the fact that you can't do any wrong. Like if you do wrong, be like, okay, I got to be able to recognize like you know, what I am doing wrong and being able to try to reconcile that in whatever fact. Because like no one's gonna be fucking perfect. Like that's impossible.
Yeah.
But realizing like mistakes that are made and like, all right, how do I fucking not do that again? How do I try to correct that if I can? And how do I work on it daily so it doesn't happen again? Like, and so I think the name of like saying, like you're saying, like, oh, it's a joke at me, like, or to remind me that that's not who I am. Yeah, nobody is a saint. Like that is the thing. Like nobody is there. I go, everything is like an active choice, an active like work every fucking day. That's why people will say, like people outside will say you're a good person, but you know that every day you're working at like trying to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I think that's really cool. That it's a constant reminder for you, like to do that.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, let's be a fucking good person today. That's what like I say. Like I don't know. Like when I bring it down like simple, like with people, I'm just like, it's really easy not to be an asshole. Like it really is. Like not to, you know. It's just whether you are actually trying to fight against that. That's why like absolutes or people just being like, well, that's just how I am. I'm like, no, fuck off. It is never like that. I go, it's just, if you're, the basis is like, are you willing to work at this or you're not?
Exactly.
So like, it's just on you. Like everything, there's a lot that we look at that's like, oh, well, this is just like how it happened to me. You look at the hand that you're dealt, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do from that? Sure, like if someone's like, sure, you could be, if you understand the mortality, like at 13 and being like, well, I'm like, might be dead. Like maybe I could just fucking do whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like just being active and being like, well, let me figure out a way to have purpose and like to mean something. Yeah. Is important. And it depends. It all depends on what decision are you going to make based on this. And again, like it's fine to fuck up. Like people fuck up all the time. It's just like, what are you going to do to not do that again, to be better, to rectify what you can do. Like, that's just what it's about at the end of the day.
That's just like the moral ethic of life. And that's just kind of what I base my whole life, my whole artistry and everything that I do. Like I just want to be the very, oh my God. I want to be the best. Yes.
Like no one ever was?
Like no one ever was. Because everything that you said, like, resonates heavy because I think discipline, I think maturity, I think what's the word? You said it earlier. What's being constant? You're just being constant at it. I don't know. Consistent. There you go. Oh my God, it's the same word. Being consistent. And like, oh my God, those are like the shit that you see everywhere. Like, oh, you just gotta be consistent with it, bro. Yeah. Like, oh no, you're not doing it right. You just gotta be consistent, you know. And people are like, I'm trying, you know. And it's like, no, you're not. You're not trying.
And it doesn't make sense till it makes sense. Like, like there's shit that like you can say and be like, I know, like that's it, like this and that, but until you like feel it, like it doesn't make sense. And I know that from experience because I know how many times like people told me shit over and over again. Like it's not like that. I'm like, oh shit, okay, yeah. Now I understand it once I can experience it and feel it. That's why like even now like I'm never the one to like preach to anybody, like especially like anyone younger, anyone going through this, I'm never going to be like, oh, you need to do this. I'm like, no, you need to experience whatever you need to experience because it's not going to make sense for me. Like, I'll talk to you, but I'm talk to you with the understanding of, like, if you don't do what I'm not going to tell you do this. I'm going to tell you, like, this is what I felt. And until you feel whatever it is you're going to feel, like, then it'll make sense to you. Like, I've had that with plenty of, like, friends. And, like, when I was younger, I'd be like, I don't understand. Like, I tell them this is exactly, like, what they're going through. Then they go through it. So that. I know that to a fucking T. I remember, like, one of, like, an old, like, ex. Somebody that one of my friends, and I'm going to say friends, but we were really just, like, acquaintances at the time. Literally, like, took me. He was like, hey, you want to hang out? And I was like, that's fucking random, but sure. Yeah. And he says, like, we talk, and he's like, I just need to tell you, like, you know, this person isn't good for you because this and that, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I took it. I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but also, like, I understand that I'm not going to understand until I go through it. And then, like, yeah, it happened. Like he said, of course, exactly. It's like, oh, it ended up really fucking shitty. But the amount of shit that I learned from that, like, from going through it was way more than anyone could ever tell me. So I do understand, like, people do need to experience, and I can't really preach and tell people how to live their life because I figured it out as we're going, and I am still figuring out as I go. Like, there's no like end. There's no like end goal. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like, oh, I got it figured out. We're gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'll figure some stuff out, but then new shit pops up. It's just like, how do we continue? You know? But I don't know. Like, I've just been learning a little bit. Like, my thing for this year is like, oh, how do I keep relationships with friends and stuff like that? I'm like, oh, like, I was talking to a few friends this week actually, and being like, dude, I'm sorry that I don't reach out. Like, I understand. Like, I stopped doing that. You know, I have a bad habit of like, I'll forget that you're there because I expect you to be there. And
damn, that's so real.
You know what I mean?
God, that's so real.
And I remember this year I was talking to my girlfriend. I'm like, I just like, because I had like both of my grandmas pass away last year. Like in October, then in December, like at Christmas time. Yeah. And
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, life happens. But it really, really like put into perspective of like, I was like, oh, when my mom goes, like, how do I have family still? And like, so not only like my family, but like and then I started realizing, like, oh shit, like I haven't hit up this friend in forever, and they're like one of my best friends. Like, what the fuck? Or they did text me like during the new year, and I like have not responded back. I thought about like, hey, I haven't seen that person forever, but I didn't do anything. Yeah. And they like a lot of stuff happened like this week. Actually, it's funny. Like, I had a friend randomly stop by for something, and I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to like me and him had like a falling out like years ago. And he came by, and I was like, you know what? Let me just take a little extra time. We sat there and talked for like 2 hours. Then the next day, like, my friend texted me. I'm like, hey, and I'm like, you know what? He's like, you're a great friend. I haven't seen you in forever. Like, what are you doing tomorrow? Like, okay, I need to be proactive with this shit. Yeah. To how do I keep those people around? You know what I mean? So that's my big thing here. But like I said, but that's another learning thing. It's like, that's another thing. I'm like, oh, I need to be present to be able to tackle those things on. Yeah. Like, I need to figure out. And again, it's always learning. Man. It's always learning. You know what I mean?
Yo, see, and that's when I feel like stars kind of align and just tell you what you need to hear, because that's kind of like what I'm like going through right now with being disciplined in everything that I want to do. Like, I want the music to sound better, so like I'll sacrifice everything to just be in the studio. Yeah. I'll fucking be like, no, babe, we're not watching movies. I'm gonna be in the studio, you know. And I don't realize, like, hey, that's a really close friend that supports everything that I do. I should be able to be like, hey, how about we put this aside for a little bit? It's their birthday. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up, you know. And I don't tend to realize that, yeah, for sure we got big dreams. Yeah, for sure we're being consistent. We're being fucking disciplined. We're being about it, and we're on it. But sometimes it's like there's real life going on around us. You know, and we're like fighting for this life or fighting for this dream or whatever we're fighting for. But there's something going on around us right now with real people, with real feelings that really care about us. Yeah. And I don't tend to stop and think about that. Honestly, just you saying that right now made me think about some friends that I actually need to hit up and be like, yo, dude, I've been a piece of shit.
so that's the other balance, because I was talking to my friend yesterday, my friend Mike, and we were I was like, I don't know, I feel like such a piece. I was saying the same thing. I'm like, I feel like such a piece of shit because like I don't reach out, and it was literally talking to him and being like, all right. He's like, well, don't say that. Like, it's not that. It just fucking happens. It's like, but I'm like, yes, but I've been using the excuse of like, I don't have enough time for stuff when I really do. And it's just like, I choose to, I've been like numbing myself out of stuff where I'm like, I'll just like piss a fucking afternoon away. And I'm just like, fuck, that's time I could have. Even like where I've broken it down to now is like, I've been telling a few friends, I was like, you're going to start getting random calls from me because one, like, I'm shit at text. Like, I'm just not good at it. Like, or whatever. I keep one text thread that I can keep throughout the day. And it's like with my girlfriend, I'm like, that's the one that I'll remember to come back to. But everything else, like, I forget. Yeah. So I'm like, so from now on, like, if I think about you, like, I'm going to call you. And even if it's like a 5-minute conversation, like, that's going to be enough. Like, that's just something where I'm like, I want you to know that I, would think. And if we can get together, we get together. But if not, that's the minimum that I want to do. Yeah. No, because like you're saying, like, we're saying discipline to make it, but when you make it, you want to be sure that you have people to share that with. Exactly, you have people there.
Oh my god,
because if you get to what you want to get, and then you have like you've lost like those people that were with you,
And what are those people gonna say? Oh, he went fucking Hollywood. He don't fucking come around anymore.
And there's a difference from like, people who, you know, really were just like bystanders in your life or whatever. Yeah. And then there's people that like, oh no, those people were
you
know, those people came to my shows. Those people like listened to the shit that I put out. Those people,
they kept it 1,000.
Honestly, just talked to me and made me feel okay about certain shit. You know, those people are like, okay, like I want to make sure that they stick around. Like that, if I do make it, I still want to be able to shoot the shit like with them and talk to them and hang out, whatever. But yeah, that's and a balance that you realize, like, oh, these, and again, these people aren't here forever, you know what I mean? Like, and whether it's like death or whether it's just like people who like naturally just like fade out of life, I'm like, I understand that happens. Like, there's always the thought that always gets me. I was like, oh, there's always exists a time where like this was the last time you ever spoke to this person. And I've had that, like, I think about that with like childhood friends. I'm like, oh, at one point we had our last conversation without ever knowing it. You know what I mean? Most of those conversations happen like that.
So
I'm like, I understand that, but if there's people that I'm conscious about, like, where I'm like, I don't want that to happen to them. I don't want it to happen in a passive way. You know what I mean? Like, for certain people, like, if I can make sure that those people can stick around, like, then I need to be proactive about it. Like, again, even if it's just a 5-minute call. Hey, like, how are you doing? Oh, I've been doing good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to head into work. Okay, cool. Like, I'll see you later, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That enough, I understand, like, it's important. Like, I guess just trying to bring myself down and realize, like, that alone is important. Like, for people to know that you still know that they exist.
Yeah, because I think with everything, we just tend to be selfish.
Yeah.
And we think that we're the only people that exist.
Absolutely.
And we're the only ones that got things going on. And you don't understand, I'm busy. Nah, that's cap. They got things going on.
No, and the fact that, like, you have no idea what anybody else has going on.
Oh, man.
Like, you realize, like, and I'll reflect, like, now on stuff like that where I'm like, I'm having the shittiest fucking, like, month, week, year, whatever. Like, you're saying, like, oh, I've gone through this and this and that. I'm like, you have no fucking clue what the next person around you, like, is going through. Like, you know, this could be, like, even, like, your closest person and still, like, not know, like, what's going on in their head. But then it's that thought has helped me a lot with even just, like, strangers. I used to be very, like, oh, this dude's a fucking asshole. Then I like, well, it doesn't hurt to take a little step back and be like, well, I don't fucking know, like, what just happened. Like, you know, he just find out his girlfriend cheated on him, or, you know, did he just, like, someone just fucking crash his car, or, like, what the fuck ever, like, happened? Or did he just have, like, an interaction with someone, tell him to fuck off? I'm like, yeah, like, someone would be uneasy. So I try again, no one's fucking perfect at that, but I try actively to be just like, all right, benefit of the doubt, maybe they're having a shitty day. Why the fuck am I gonna instigate and keep at it? You know, I've definitely dedicated a lot less energy to shit that's just gonna bring the bad type of energy into me. Like, why interact with something to just like fucking? Dude, I don't know.
Nah, you serving. Oh,
you serving?
Yeah, you serving sermons. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, nah, that's goddamn, that's so fucking true, dude. Like, fuck, that weight's heavy. That's so true. Goddamn. OCL.
Damn, in the Spanish.
Nah, yeah, we'll get to that. But nah, yeah, God damn it, you're right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Yeah, no, and as long as it's not just realizing it, it's acting on it.
Acting on it, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, deadass, thank you so much. This has been like fucking... Oh, this has been
the podcast is now therapy, my man.
Yeah, nah, this has been healing, you know. Nah, dude, you're fucking sick, Osi.
Well, shit, it's bringing it back to something you brought up, like being like the coolest thing we can do is be vulnerable. Like faking it makes no fucking sense to me because it's just so hindering to oneself to be God. Like, I don't ever feel sad, or I don't ever like feel mad, or, you know, whatever. Like, no, like these things like are real. You know what I mean? Like, it's. I don't know. There's maybe a perception of like, oh, it looks bad for you to feel this way or this and that.
Yeah.
Like, who? I go, who? To who? I go, the people it looks bad to aren't the people in your actual life that should be there. You know what I mean? Or that even exists. You know, I feel like the internet has kind of like taken a lot of that away. Where like people are like, oh, you look like this, on there, or this and that. And I've taken a lot. I realized that like slowly, like I've taken a lot less off online as I used to. Yeah. I used to like which helped me, but I used to like use my Instagram as like a damn journal. So I'd post a random picture and be like, oh shit, like I'm not doing too hot, and it would just go in. But I would always post it knowing that like I don't give a fuck who responds to this, because the people that should have responded to this, like I'm already talking to them. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Someone that's like, oh, like you're feeling like, cause I've had that. I'm like, oh, like, hey, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, you know, do you want to like catch up and this and that, blah, blah. And then nothing ever comes from it. I'm like, yeah, cause you're not one of those people present in my life. Like it's just an online thing, which is fine. Yeah. But I would post it just to like, I used to be scared to mention anything because I hated making anything real. So like if I was like depressed, not even in air quotes, like if I was depressed, like I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody because like then it's real. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or if I was like, oh, I feel insecure because of this thing, like I'm not vocalizing because then it's real. When in like it already is real.
It's been
like,
real.
You know what I mean? It's been real.
You're
like
feeling it.
And the only way like to address it is like if I admit that it's true, okay, that's the first fucking step. Now like I can be like, okay, what do I fucking do to work on this? Like like it's just being proactive and being active and like what do I do? Yeah. Absolutely.
No, you're dude. Yes.
He's spitting.
No, you're fucking serving the sermon, bro. Thank you. God, you're fucking incredible. You're so right. And, man, everything that you're telling me, God, I sound so vague. But I don't want to sound vague. But you're right. I want to be proactive. I want to be better. Because I came here to talk about music.
We did.
Yeah, we did. But
honesty out now. Honesty. I'm messing it up.
Yo, no, but
honest out on all streaming platforms.
I mean, I think the fucking word of the day was honest because we got honest and I want to be proactive. I want to be real. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better brother, better like son. Better fucking everything. I want to be a better everything. And I want to be a better artist, just like off of being truthful. I
think those all go hand in hand. This is the thing. Like they really do. Like, you work to become a better person. You are able to express your art. And like, again, in a more honest way if you start being honest about everything else around you.
Yeah. Because that's art.
Yeah.
That's art.
That is what it is.
That's art. Like, yo, man, do we got time? Do we got time? Okay. We're gonna go for 3 more hours.
Yeah, 3 more hours.
This is the OC experience now.
We can go till 7.
No, I'm just playing. I just man, nah. You know what? I don't want to get into that. Because you know what? Because I have deep feelings about it. And it's affected the way that I think. It's affected. I touched on it earlier. About like numbers and wanting to market and wanting to do these things. And the reality of why we do music in the first place or why we do art, why we shoot videos, And man, I don't know, just like I kind of everything now wanted to tap into itself, the way that I can be a better friend and be proactive in those areas. I want to be proactive as an artist as well. Yeah. Because sometimes you're just the same way. You're kind of like a fake friend. And you're just gonna be like, yeah, man, we'll fucking catch up. Nah, just hit me up. You got my number. And then nothing comes out of it. And then you kind of like that with music. You're just kind of like, yo, let's work on a song. No, yeah, bro, fucking give me your deets. Yeah, no, yeah, and then nothing comes from it. That way, like I see a lot of people that have been working with themselves in the local scene. And you can choose to take this off if I start getting in like fucking not good territory, but forbidden territory.
If you want to take it off, I'll take it out.
No. Okay, yo, if you're down,
literally,
No, we're gonna go ahead and say it. We're gonna X-rate it. No, I just feel like everybody is doing this for the wrong reasons, and the reason I have feelings for it, because it's like, wow, why the fuck do you care? Maybe they just want to be famous. Maybe they just want to be rich. Whatever. To fuck. But because the way that they view their content, the way that they view themselves, the way that they sell themselves as products, makes me question how I should be selling myself as a product. And it's gross. Like you pull up to these IG pages and you see these artists, and they're pushing forward themselves. And they're not pushing forward the music. Like, I go to your IG and it's just a bunch of pictures of you. You know what I mean? But then again, like, it's your IG, it's your expression, whatever, right? I think of the free ride of that, you know? And I think that every artist can express themselves in their individuality in their own way. But it's the TikToks, it's the things that kind of market you to tell you how to do things. You know, want to learn how to reach a fucking audience, want to learn how to fucking get into all these things. This is fucking 5 ways to do it, you know? Yeah. And then you fucking, those videos, I don't listen to them, but they pop up because I guess Instagram knows I'm an artist. So I start getting them. And in and itself, I start seeing, and I become self-aware about that. And I'm like, who else got this video? And I didn't act on it. Yeah. But who's acting on this? You know, because what are their dreams and ambitions with this? You know, like, is it like, are we really just like doing it because we want to get cut? We want people to cut checks because we want people to make us feel like the validation of what we do is based on the amount of money that we make doing this. You know, the accolades, the awards. The numbers, fucking numbers, and in it in itself, and again, you might think like, well, why the fuck you care? Just don't look into it. You don't care about that. I don't. But like I said, it started eating at me because it made me question myself. It made me be like, and you might think, and I'm only saying these because I know what people are gonna like, you know, try to like come at me with. So I want to go ahead and like say it. I know you can be like, well, no, if you know your true identity as an artist and you know why you do it, then this shouldn't fucking matter to you, and you shouldn't care about artist individuality, expression, and all that. For sure. But there's a point in time where we kind of have to sit back and be like, why are we doing this? Yeah. You know what I mean? What is the ultimate purpose? Because that's gonna affect and hurt more people than it is gonna make them steer clear of where they should go and which direction to go with this. Like I said, the only reason I fucking care is because I'm insecure about videos, I'm insecure about dropping music, I'm insecure about shows. Yeah. Because of these things, because of how I should be presented, because of how I should act. When I'm just like, I'm just a regular ass motherfucker like everybody else. I've been through shit, but like that don't make me different. Like I just want to fuck with people, and I want people to fuck with me. You know?
I think.
Give me some game, OC.
I think the only thing where I'm like, again, and this is because like this is what like my brain does to myself, is I always play contrarian to myself. So if I have a thought like that, let's say I'm having that thought, I always find like, how am I wrong? Because I am going to be wrong in some way. So in that case, the only thing I leave out when I convince myself some sort of way, when I start worrying about other people, is like I am eliminating perspective. I'm eliminating the perspective of whoever's doing this. Because then sometimes I'll see people and being like, well, yeah, they're just doing this because they're trying to, get those checks written and stuff like that. Okay, but where did they come from that's their perspective, that they need that they will do anything to like be able to get, paid like that. Oh, okay. And sometimes again, everybody's going to be different, but sometimes I've ran into like those who are like, oh shit, well they came from having nothing. So figuring out a way like, oh, I can make money by doing this, I'm going to fucking do it. So it's the whole idea of like, I guess like selling out and stuff like that. Oh, they're only doing this for like content, this and that, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, sometimes like it does like, oh, I don't want to fucking do that. I'm like, and now I just have to be like, well, that's cool. I don't have to do that. But I also have to admit that I have no idea why they are doing that. Doesn't mean that they're right. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. I'm just like, I just don't understand it. And that's where I come to. I'm just like, I just don't understand like why they do that. But it used to be like, I don't understand why they do that in a negative way, when now it's more of like, I really don't know why they do that. I go, there's got to be a reason. I personally, I know for me, if I was just like faking it to make it, or following every trend that's coming out just so I can get some sort of traction, I know that's not going to make me happy. And I have to like dwell it down into myself. Cause like the only person that I understand is, to a certain degree, is me, like not fully, but I'm like, I know what I do and what I can keep doing to make myself happy. And that's got to be the root of it for me. Like, because, like, again, if someone's just doing it to get those, like, views, to get those clicks, to get whatever, to get those numbers, then that's their job. And you realize, like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing fucking wrong with having a job, which we don't know what what's their passion. Like, we think if someone's doing music, we're like, well, that should be their passion, but maybe that's their job, and their passion is they want to design clothes. You know what I mean? Like, that's what their passion is, but that's not making them money. They figure out that, oh, I can write songs and I have a following over here. Well, that's my job now. So just being able to offer people the benefit of the doubt, because once you start like digging into people and like, oh, they're doing this for that, it creates a form of like elitism, which is just always fucking toxic. Like, once you feel yourself being like, well, they're not doing it the way I think should be done, you start getting to like old head status, and you start getting to like this shit where you're just like, oh, they're not doing it the way I'm used to. Yeah. I just saw recently, like, cause like, so Killer Mike just went to like, just swept like the rap category. Which, first of all, Killer Mike's fucking great.
Yeah, no, he is.
In my opinion, like I love Run the Jewels. Yeah, like that album, like that Michael album was sick. Yeah. I honestly don't know enough. I don't give a shit. Like I don't know how those things are judged. Blah blah blah. I heard all the other albums. So, but I saw somebody. It was like one of the big streamers. It was like, which a lot of people were just like, oh, who the fuck is like Killer Mike? And you could take people who are defensive will take that negatively. Well, how do you fucking not know this? But like, people don't know everything. You know what I mean? So like, you're coming from someone who knows from their perspective. They see these other albums like, well, these are the ones I know. Like, who the fuck is this person? I don't know them. And they're like, well, he's been doing this for 20 years. Like, well, not everybody knows that. You know what I mean? So, and people get super, because like, it was a streamer called Kai Sanat, which like, does a lot of like streaming stuff. And he's like one of the biggest streamers now. And I think he got a response from like Joe Budden, who's like notoriously like known for like doing old head fucking comments. Just being like really mad like at shit. And that's where I'm like, dude, I don't understand like being super mad at someone's opinion. I go, because everybody's got one. And that opinion is based on all their experiences that they have, where they're at in life, what draws attention to them. And it's nuts to be like, oh, you're fucking wrong. You know what I mean? Like, taste is so subjective. Music is so subjective. Like, I know albums that people are like, these are fucking good. And I'm like, I believe they're good, but those don't touch my soul. You know what I mean? Like, everything is different for everybody. And I forgot I can't remember who did the quote. I think it might have been Nas or someone, but I heard this. It was like, if you really didn't give a fuck about like awards or like numbers and this and that, then you would have been happy enough keeping that album on your fucking hard drive in your damn basement where you recorded it. Like, you would be completely like fulfilled. But if you have a problem with who's getting nominated, who's winning this shit, that means you are concerned and you're writing this for somebody else too. And admit that. So like, as much as like I know that I'm like, I do this because I was like, this is fun, this and that, blah, blah. At the same time, like, if this were to become something more, I'm gonna enjoy that. I love, like I said, like I've openly said it where I'm like, oh, I do this, like, also the entertainment purposes. Yeah, I get to entertain. I get to be like, I have attention and stuff like that. It does feed that for me, and it's very arrogant for me to be like, that's not what I actually want. You know what I mean? I admit, yes, it would be fucking cool. Like, if I had a song or album that blew up, and it's like, yes, everybody wants that. You know what I mean? But it's not becoming obsessed with that. I think someone else I've seen is like Danny Brown, who like always, literally every project he writes always gets like super critically acclaimed and all this stuff. Yeah, like, that doesn't translate to money. He's like, but you know, it's a balance. Like, what am I doing? Like, is it artistry or is it like, am I doing something? And again, like, I can't just hate on somebody for writing shit that's going to be commercially successful, because fuck, if you write something that's commercially successful and you are creating like this life where you have money, like money equals freedom. Like, to be honest with you, like once you have enough money, then like, okay, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. Yeah. And that's one thing I used to follow like Donald Glover or Childish Gambino for like the longest time. And that's one thing like he would always say, like, money offers that freedom. Like, once you're rich, you can actually do like what you want to do, whatever it is. Like, and it might not be the thing that made you rich. You know what I mean? And most times it isn't. Like, you end up trying to do crazy shit. Like, I always look at like Snoop Dogg too. Like, now, like, where everyone's like Snoop Dogg and like Shaq, where like they're like, oh, they're just like fucking doing side quests now. I'm like, you got to think it like, he's like, yeah, like they're rich enough to where now they literally do whatever the fuck they want to do because it's fun. Like, and that's that's when people chase money. At the root of it, I think that people are chasing that. People are chasing like, how do I get to a place where I can finally just be myself? You know what I mean? And that's a struggle too. Like sometimes, because like sometimes you have to pretend to be something for so long, and like not everybody makes it there. You know what I mean? So it's the balance of like pretending to be something to get to a certain point while trying to still maintain like who you are and being able to be that person along the way. You know?
Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah. Sick. Thank you.
What did I just say?
No, you said everything I needed to hear. Because, I get too in my fucking head. I mean, I genuinely, I just care too fucking much sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I guess I just get bothered. You know, I'm just like, why? You know,
fine. Yeah.
You know, like you guys, I get old head. You know, I get old head. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I get old head as fuck, and I'm just like, no. You know, but no, you're fucking right, and thank you for that perspective, because I needed it.
It's perspective, man. Like that's one thing. Like with this, and just life in general, I've started to realize, like, damn, I definitely do not have all the fucking answers. So like. Anytime I get proven wrong, I'm just like, fucking cool. Like, I'm not gonna, I don't understand people who like, don't want to be wrong. You know? It's like, sure, like, you want to try to be in the right, but if someone's like, proves to you and be like, hey, there's another way to look at something, listen, I'm like, fucking cool. Like, because it is very, like, egotistical to think that I'm right about everything. But... yeah, that's why I've loved this. I talk to people, like all sorts of people, and be like, "Oh shit, I never saw it that way." I love that because they used to happen when I used to write music. I used to I remember like because I was in a band, like we had 5 different perspectives of like a song. So then like I remember like one of my guitar players brought a song, and I'm just like, that shit is ass. And not even actually, it wasn't even like ass. I'm like, there's no fucking way I can write to that. I'm like, I can't write to that. It's so fucking out of my comfort zone. It's so fucking this, like, it's not gonna work. This and that, blah blah.
Yeah.
And then it pushed me a little bit, and then we write this fucking really good song that I like love, and I'm like, oh okay, cool. I was wrong there. You know what I mean? Like being able to admit that, but stubbornness and just. Not willing to work. That's why it's kind of cool that you work with like Dak a lot, because just working with someone that's a little, again, like you're saying, like y'all during the body out, like y'all butted heads a lot. I'm like, that's good. Like you have someone that's challenging the way that you write things. Because I, as a songwriter, I'm like, I know how to write songs. And then I remember like having just instances where I would be in writing sessions and they'd be writing a song, they have their instrumental, I'm like listening to it, I'm like, well, this is what I would do. And then they write something completely fucking different and like way the fuck that I'm like, I would have never thought of that. I'm like, okay. And it turns out to be really good. And I'm just like, oh, there's not one way to write a song. Like everybody's gonna write different.
Yeah, different ways.
Actually, TikTok has actually like helped me a lot with that when like people do those open verse challenges and stuff like that. Yeah. You see like everybody do something fucking different. I'm like, bro, there's so much fucking talent and different creative ways. It's so cool. But with that and life and stuff like that, I'm like, dude, there's always another perspective. There's always one thing you're missing. And take that information. Like it's hard sometimes to be open, especially depending on how heavy you care about that aspect. Yeah, you want to think that like I figured it out. This is what I want, but then you figure out like there are other like and again it's hard because like we get in our head. We're the only ones in there like all the time. You know what I mean? So we're like, well, this is the way like it is, you know. And then like it is a hard like to take that new information in sometimes and be like, oh fuck that. There is a different. Even if you don't agree with it, you gotta. There's still that point where like, well, I understand why you're coming from.
Yeah, you got to respect it.
Yeah, you have to respect it, like because there is a reason why this person thinks this way.
Yeah. Just to like final thought. I'm not afraid of being wrong. Mm-hmm. I that's why I asked you, because I was like, I want to know. I want to know if I'm being a dick or if I'm just like, if I'm too in my head, because like I said, I don't post, I don't do shows, I don't be working with nobody. Yeah. So I'm literally, it's just me in my studio and Dak, and Dak knows how fucking annoying I am. And only Dak knows that. So no, I'm not afraid to be wrong. I love different perspectives, and you definitely open my mind to something that I've been so arrogant to. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that. Because now I'm going to view this in a different way, and I'm not going to be so fucking assholey about it. I'm thankful, because you don't know that kind of problem really eats at me. Mm-hmm. And it makes me insecure about what I'm doing. Yeah. So your perspective brought alleviation to my frustration. Mm-hmm. So I now feel like relaxed. I feel like, I feel good. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. That ass.
Thank you. Like you've offered me a whole bunch. Like again, even like getting to know like the stuff. I know you were like, oh, I don't like to talk about this stuff, but again, it makes you who you are, and it's kind of it's interesting to see. Again, it's another perspective that I'm like, oh, where me like maybe just seeing you from the outside, just talking to me like, oh, like we are the same like, in a way, and then just looking at me like, oh no, like I understand like why some of these things are different.
Yeah.
But no, it's always great. It's always great to have that new perspective.
Yeah, you're like, get the fuck out of my house.
Actually, that thing's about to die, so we do have to wrap the camera. No, okay, so you dropped a new song. You have another unreleased one that's gonna drop sometime.
Yes, I got two. Okay, announcements. I got one coming out. It's a video and a song called Atmos. I was gonna say the quick story. It's really fast. I was gonna call it Atmospheric.
Okay.
Because it feels atmospheric. But I was like, that is a long ass fucking name. I don't want to say atmospheric all the time. So I just called it Atmos. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's like the gas company.
Hey, get them sponsored, dude.
It looks cool. Written now, it looks cool. So yeah, I called it Atmos, and then I just did something with Dak. I have another one called Hades. I don't like that name, so I might change it.
Okay.
Hades is fucking beautiful. When I'm in there, I'm like, who am I? Sick ass music. And then I did one with Dak last week. Fucking phenomenal. And I'm excited to finish that one. I literally just got to record a 16 and we're done.
I'm pulling up to one of these sessions.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like whenever. Nah, bro. It's the best. We have the greatest time.
Sick. Well, so new music on the way. Hopefully we get more shows to see a little bit more of like your like experience come to fruition. Just like coming into the body of like performing. Because I know like as an artist, I know you were saying you didn't have like a lot of performance experience, but like that's one of like, which I know with the show, just even the reaction stuff that you got, like that feeling of just being up there and performing that music is something different. So I hope you get a lot more of that. But no, thank you for stopping by. Like this is
thank you for having me.
An amazing like talk, which is why, like I said, I love doing these things. So I will always say this, but you're welcome back anytime.
No, I'll be back next episode. I'll be back.
Making part two. But yeah, this has been episode. What we at? Episode 97 with Saint Eastwood. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time.
Sounds and breakdowns. Love me instead.